Started again. I already kind of started, then couldn't be heard, jumped off, and now I'm restarting again. So today is actually going to be really fun. I'm actually going to teach you guys something that's very near and dear to my heart, that is part of my personal practice, so I can testify to the power of it, and I'll get more into that towards the end. But I'm going to be doing a short demonstration today, and I think it's important to say I'm not a sound bath expert. This isn't something that I do. This isn't a service that I offer. It's just a tool that I use in my personal practice that I thought I would share with you guys, because not only is it good for clearing the chakras, but you can actually clear any space as well with sound. So vibration and sound, like if you see me a lot of times when I'm doing my readings, I'll knock on the deck of cards because the sound and vibration will clear the cards. And so it's really just about using different instruments to clear space, clear the chakras, clear energy. So I brought a couple today that I have personally. So I have a little bitty drum that I made at a retreat. I think it was 2 years ago. I do use my little drum sometimes for like meditation or whatever. So one cool thing about the drum is you can really use the beat to carry you. So sometimes when we're meditating and we're just trying to sit there, our thoughts can kind of intervene and it can be hard to concentrate, and you're just sitting there like, oh, I'm just supposed to be concentrating on my breath or whatever. But the beat of a drum, a steady beat of the drum during meditation, can kind of carry you to places and opens the door up for all kinds of like information and downloads to come through. So I like to use a drum not only for clearing but for meditation. But if you wanted to use it for clearing the chakras, you can start at the root or the head, but I like to start from the bottom up. Start from the root. Usually you'd be standing and ideally having somebody else perform this. So it works best with two people. Everyone takes turns, but you start right at the root, and when you're doing it, you want to get like a nice hearty sound where you can really feel that vibration, like the drum. And working with the drum, it carries that sound and you can feel it in the body. So you'll spend just as much time as you intuitively feel like you need and kind of focus on each chakra. So you would start with the root, with the drum, and you would connect to your breath, and you would just kind of set the intention and visualize the beat of that drum kind of going into that chakra, vibrating out any debris and really just shining it up. So if we're working with the red, you're going to imagine that red disc spinning really brightly while you're having that drummed, and then you would just move up. And if you wanted to add like a extra layer to this practice, this drumming practice of chakra clearing, you can choose a meditation for each of the chakras, and you can also like recite that meditation as you're drumming that area or as somebody else is drumming you. And so yeah, pretty self-explanatory. You kind of just move the drum up and hit all the areas. So that's how you can use a drum. People use bells, they use chimes, they use tuning forks. That's something super cool that I've been wanting to get a set of, is tuning forks. And those, when you get those, they're big metal. If you're not familiar, they're like literally big forks, two-pronged forks, and you kind of tap them and they play a certain note in correlation with the chakra. So they usually come in a set of 7. So one correlates with each chakra. And so you can use those to like attune that chakra, to like perk that chakra up. Because the idea of it, like using tuning forks, is just like we tune an instrument. We're treating the body like an instrument in a lot of ways, but we're using vibration. sound and vibration. And so when you hit, for example, like that tuning fork that's set in that note, then what it does is it's like attracts like, and so it will encourage your vibration in that chakra center to match the vibration of the tuning fork. So that's the concept behind using things like tuning forks that have a note associated with it. And then the next thing I'm going to show you guys is the same concept. So this is so dusty inside. Sorry, I just don't like that. It sits on one of my altars, but you know, things do get dusty on the inside. It is a giant bowl. So I don't know how well you guys could see this. This is I only have one right now. One day I aspire to have the full set. That's like on my manifestation wish list for sure. But right now I just have this one singing bowl. And if you're not familiar with singing bowls, this is a quartz crystal. They come in a variety of different crystals. I've seen them in rose quartz, and I believe I've seen amethyst as well. I think it's mainly just the quartz crystals that you'll get these in because of the hardness, because, you know, if not, they would be really delicate, some other stones. So you can get them in a few different types of crystals, material, whatever, quartz material like that. And then they also come brass. So you've maybe seen like the little brass bowls that people use as well. And they're all the same thing, and they all do the same thing. So the same concept that I was saying with the tuning forks, these singing bowls are the same. So this one is the note of F, which correlates with the heart chakra. And I'm going to try to give you guys a little... I'm actually going to try to put it down and see. Pulled it up so you guys can actually hear. Sorry. Doing attunement ceremonies on people, I use the vibration of the singing bowl to kind of infuse certain symbols. Anyways, that's kind of like off the subject, but I guess I'm just bringing that up as an example for the way that you can like bring these sound tools into all kinds of your spiritual practices. So that was just a little sample, and I don't want this to be so loud because I'm not really sure how this is showing up for you guys. I'm not trying to have this like abrasive or offensive noise. But that just gives you kind of an idea. And just because this is attuned to the heart chakra or tuned to it note wise, I still use the singing bowl on different chakras because I think I told you guys at the beginning, the heart chakra is perfectly balanced between feminine and masculine energy. And so you can take your right hand and put it on your heart and place your other hand anywhere in the other chakras. So this is a great balancing tool. You can put it anywhere in the other chakras you want and kind of sit there, and you'll draw that energy from the heart chakra, that balanced energy into the heart chakra to other chakras. So the same concept is with this singing bowl in the note of the heart chakra. You can use it on any of the chakras to like bring in the balance of the heart chakra. And so it's overall balancing. So it's, even though it is tuned for the heart chakra, you can use it on all. And yes, one day I plan on having my singing bowls just around me and having the entire set. So those are kind of the sound tools that I have as of now. Like I said, I have quite a few on a wish list that I plan on having, but those things do come with time. But there's a lot of other stuff out there, lots of different types of drums, different sizes of drums. Like I said, there's chimes, there's bells, there's gongs. If you guys haven't checked out a gong bath when you're watching this on the replay, I highly suggest it. It definitely moves energy and just that vibration. It's really indescribable, and everyone's experience is different, but I think it's something that everyone should experience. So if that's something you're interested in, you can usually find local stuff like that if you kind of look around. And if not, and I don't think this is quite as beneficial as like having the instrument played for you live, but I do rely on YouTube quite a bit for looking for sound baths or shamanic journeys, which is going to be the drum beat for meditation. And YouTube is a great resource for like all meditations in general, whatever kind you're doing, but they do have a lot of sound baths on there as well if you want to explore those and learn more. And they have I've had some really powerful reactions and some really powerful experiences just listening to those meditations, especially if you're able to put some earbuds in like I have, so that sounds just really rich and that vibration really is able to get through the body. So that's kind of my little demo and info on that for you guys. Now, the second part of today is actually going to be teaching you guys a Kundalini meditation. And the reason why I'm kind of bringing it into this workshop today is because Kundalini meditations involve chanting, which creates a vibration. So there's certain sounds that you use, certain ways you move your mouth. The purpose of the chants, it's hitting all these different meridians. It gets energy flowing. Working with like Kundalini yoga and working with Kundalini meditations, it's like building a formula. So you have different pieces in the formula. And today, the reason why I chose the one I did is because it's pretty easy for everybody to learn. So the reason that I chose this is because this particular meditation really connects us to the divine teacher within, and that always will connect us to the heart chakra. Like I mentioned to you guys earlier in the week, that the heart chakra is like the seat of, it's where God lives in our energy body. That's the seat of spirit in our energy body. And so anytime we intentionally set to go inward and connect, we're automatically connecting with that heart chakra. So, the words to this, and I'm trying to think of the best way for me to because if I hold this up and show you the words, unfortunately it's going to be backwards, but it's pretty easy. And like I said, it is across the top. So it's Ong, O-N-G, Namo, and then the third word is Guru. But in Sanskrit and when you're doing these meditations, all R's have a D on them. So it's pronounced Guru. So it's Ong, Namo, Guru, Dev, which is pronounced D-E-V, and then Namo. So Ong, Namo, Guru, Dev, Namo. What this means, translated, is I bow to the creative wisdom. I bow to the divine teacher within. So we're going to do an 11-minute chant. And if at first you are just listening, these meditations actually work when you're just listening as well. So that's also something to know at home. You can jump on Spotify and find a Kundalini mantra that will serve you for that day, and even just have it playing in the background and let those subconsciously kind of sink in. So yeah, at first, if it's just you listening until you become familiar with the words, that's fine. But I do encourage you to try to join into the chant, because that's when you really start to feel that vibration within your own body, and it becomes really powerful. Your mind becomes, this is one thing I really loved about getting into these when I first started, is that, with meditation, as I said, it's hard. The mind wanders, especially if you're new to it. It's just like anything else. When people say they're bad at meditation, I always say, you're not bad at meditation. You're new to meditation. Everybody struggles with meditation when they're new to the practice. It takes practice. Sometimes it's just starting with 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time and working your way up. So I just always like to preface that. But when we're doing these types of meditations with chants, you're so focused on the words and you're so focused on that it really clears out everything else. at least when you first get started. So we are going to be doing this meditation for 11 minutes. And I am going to say, before we get started, a couple things. First of all, I'm no vocalist. So, you know, just there might be some cracks here and there. There's certain notes, a certain note when I hit that sometimes my voice will crack. So I apologize, but it's really just about like you guys joining in as well. So I'm just really here to guide you despite some of my like lack of vocal talent, and to kind of encourage you guys to join in and use your own voice alongside with mine. The second thing is, if you're new to this practice, if you're new to meditation in general, 11 minutes is going to feel like an eternity. And I'm going to tell you that now. I did this with someone last year during a moon ritual we did a different meditation, but it was an 11-minute Kundalini meditation. And when we finished, she thought that we had been doing it for 30 minutes because when you're not used to it, it's like you're really slowing down time when you come to meditate. Anytime you come to meditate, you really are bending time. You're slowing down time. You're creating this space, this bubble where it almost doesn't exist. And you can really just like enjoy the oneness that exists. But if you're not used to it, that can really make it seem like it's drug on forever. So that's really part of the learning and the practice of Kundalini, though, and that's when we really start to fight past the ego mind and sink into that energy of our higher self. It's when you feel like, oh my gosh, when is this going to end? I can't keep doing this, but you push through it anyways, that you make those like massive breakthroughs with this particular practice for sure. And yeah, so again, I'm going to set a timer. Hopefully the timer is not going to be too crazy abrupt when we finish. And for the mudra today, we're going to go into prayer position. And there's something important about this. So when you go into this position, you want to make sure that your two thumbs, are kind of pressed up against. You don't want to press too hard, but let there be some firmness there. And the reason we do this during Kundalini when we use this particular mudra is because our main meridian runs. And that's also the same meridian, as you can see, that runs up the chakra centers. So when we press into this at our heart center, we're really opening up this energy flow. We're opening up the other chakras to the heart by putting this pressure right here. And so that's one of the aspects of this mudra, how it directs the energy. The other reason why I chose to use this mudra today with this particular meditation is because when we put our hands in prayer position or gasso position, you might hear it called at other places, physically, we are balancing both hemispheres of the brain, and energetically, we're also balancing, we're bringing together the divine feminine, the masculine, the yin and yang, however you want to think of it. We're bringing that together within ourselves through this and creating that balance. So when we're talking about wanting to balance chakras, we obviously want to work with balancing mudras, energies, and mantras. So that is why we've chosen prayer positions, that's why I've chosen prayer position today. So if this is something you're interested in, I really encourage you to go deeper with this and like look into it. So I'm going to go ahead and get our timer started over here. And then I'm just going to close my eyes. I want us to do a couple deep breaths before we start the timer real quick, just to get really centered, to create our space, to create our bubble, and, ground yourself in some way as you are breathing right now, whether that's imagining roots growing down, whether you're imagining a grounding cord that's going all the way down to the center of the earth, anything. Just imagine, either a cord or roots or whatever you usually use when you do these guided meditations to really ground you during our breathing. So I'm going to start with a couple deep breaths. I encourage you guys to join me as you're doing this. Set your intention and ground yourself, create your grounding cord. So we're going to go to prayer position. I always like to rub my hands together. I think that's the Reiki practitioner in me, because it just really begins to heat up that energy and get all that moving. Ang Namo Gurudev Namo 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 Ang Namo Ang Namo Gurudev 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 Namo Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo Ang Namo Guru Dev Namo. Couple deep breaths, guys. And when you take a deep breath in through your nose this time, I want you to really kind of draw in all the pelvic floor muscles, draw in the navel, and imagine you're bringing that energy up from the root all the way to the crown. So, and hold that breath for the count of 6. Slow release through the nose, guys. Releasing those muscles. We're going to do this about 3 times to end our meditation. Again. Big release. Release the hands. Slowly let the eyes open. Sat Nam.